Power fantasy is shit, which is only made for virgin losers, and it is overall a garbage genre. Is the very thing I kept telling myself after I got clowned on for saying I liked SEO, and I mean, can you blame them? But no matter what anyone said, deep down, always felt a sort of fascination towards power fantasy genre. I mean, a weak ass guy who gets overpowered and kicks everyone's ass. For the 13-year-old me, it felt as if
I just wanted to be like you.
But even though I grew older and said to my 13-year-old self, come on bro, that part of me which likes power fantasy still remained somewhere in the corner, and it popped out here and there while watching some shows, but never to the extent when I first watched Sword Art. That is until I read a Korean manhwa named Solo Leveling, which helped me get out of my closet and gave me strength, so now I can proudly say, I am gay for Kirito. Wait, who the fuck wrote this? Okay, let me get this out of the way. Solo Leveling is a power fantasy story where everything is a dick measuring contest and our main protagonist gets OP as fuck and steamrolls everyone. But even though it is all of this, it is genuinely good and an immersive story. 10 years ago, these mysterious portals suddenly opened up and monsters of all kinds started to enter this world, causing chaos around the world. But around the same time, some humans awakened supernatural abilities to rival these monsters and maintain the balance of the world. Over time, these humans were known as hunters who hunt down and kill monsters by clearing dungeons, and thus killing the monster business became another profession just like any other in this world. And in this massive world, we follow Sung Jin Woo, who has been given the title of weakest hunter of all humankind. He is so weak that whenever he joins a party to raid a dungeon, the party members are actually relieved that since he is here, the dungeon would be easy as a walk in the park. He's more like Sung Jin Woo. But one day, the party suddenly enters a dungeon which is far superior than their skill level, and one by one, almost everyone dies, leaving Sung Jin Woo last one alive in that dungeon, soon to be dead. But during his final moments, he completes a set of requirements and has been granted a sort of reawakening which saves his life. When he wakes up in the hospital, he starts seeing screens, health bar, inventory, and some tasks, like a full-on game which is only exclusive to him. Reawakening is a common occurrence in this world, but what Sung Jin Woo is experiencing is definitely not common. After playing around with the system and doing basic personal missions which screen assigns him, we realize he has gained the power to literally fucking level up, which is unheard of. The world of Solo Leveling consists of different rankings of hunters, which is from E being the lowest tier to S being the highest. These ranks are determined by their power level when they become a hunter, and even though you go clear dungeons or kill bosses and nothing will change in your ranking and you will be the same since the first day you have been awakened. But on the contrary, Jinwoo has the ability to level up while rest of the hunters stay the same. And is this a bit of bullshit? Yes, completely, but the journey of him becoming the strongest feels fucking earned. Sung Jin Woo starts as the weakest hunter of all mankind, where he has hard time doing the daily challenges, which is running, sit-ups and other things, but he grinds and grinds in the dungeon which are only exclusive to him and becomes stronger bit by bit. Every time he enters one of the dungeons assigned by the system, it is way beyond his capabilities, so he constantly puts his life on the line to gain XP, gold and items which help him get stronger, just to blitz through the main dungeon. It is like fighting and beating Melina.
I am Melania, Blade of Mikola.
And then going against the big fucking snake Raikard. Also, it is kind of cool to see a dude start from zero, seeing him fail, get his ass whooped, grow stronger bit by bit, until eventually he becomes a menace. He goes from Sung Jin Woo to Sung Jin Whoa when you see him do OP shit, rather than start at episode 1 and by episode 3 do shit like this with no explanation whatsoever. The world of Solo Leveling is built for Sung Jin Whoa to excel, and it completely owns up to that shit and gives you exactly what you want, which is some more OP bullshit. I mean, Sung Jin Whoa Okay, I will stop that. He becomes so OP that he does everything by himself, and they start calling him one-man guild. He's a healer, mage, assassin and a tank all by himself. As the story goes on, he says, arise, and control shadows of dead who are as strong as they originally were, and they can also level up like Jinwoo. I mean, like, what? I shit you not, there is a point in story where Igris, his shadow second in command, who is also one of the coolest, and you can fight me on that, gets as strong as an S rank hunter, which is so fucking hype when Igris alone steamrolls an entire dungeon and other hunters are like, what the fuck? What I really like about Solo Leveling is all of this looks bullshit when you actually think about it, but feels natural when you are reading it, and this is all thanks to the world of Solo Leveling. This world has made hunters and the monster killing business just like any other business. We have huge companies who are willing to invest in hunter guilds just to get minerals out of the dungeons, which will give huge profits. Big shot hunter guilds have a special mining team to mine out all the artifacts and minerals which are exclusively found in dungeons to gain large amount of profits. There is also a guild politics where a celebrity is recruited who recently recently became a hunter just to boost guild's popularity, even though he might be a total wimp. And also, there is a balance of power, which is determined by the S rank hunters. Usually, all the hunters are overseen by the guild association, but that is only on the paper for the S ranks. The ground reality is S ranks are a loose cannon. If one of the S ranks decides to go rogue, what the hell is hunter association going to do? Nothing really, aside from rely on other S ranks. This also determines the standing of countries on a global scale. There are Japanese hunters, Chinese hunters, American hunters, hell, even an Indian hunter named after one of the most famous actors in India. Actually, that made me really happy, not gonna lie.
आज खुश तो बहुत हो गए तुम।
And there are often times where countries try to recruit a hunter from different country, which completely switches the entire power dynamic and standing of countries. And it is really cool to see that the author has put so much thought while writing this story. There are references at chapter 10 which build up to an entire arc later down the line, which I noticed while rereading it. Speaking of reading Solo Leveling is an absolute treat, and I am not talking about the story and power fantasy stuff, but I am talking about the art and the format. The art of Solo Leveling is fucking amazing. Like, there are panels where there is depiction of army clashing, or when Jinwoo summons his army, and the sheer scale we see in that art is fucking epic. And moreover, all of this is colored. Just see this shit, it is fucking amazing. And most of this is possible thanks to the manhwa format. Contrary to the manga where you gotta flip the page to read, manhwa is designed to be read on mobile by scrolling, and thanks to that, we get this feeling of continuity in pages, where a single chapter or even an entire manhwa feels like a one massive page, and it is fucking addicting. You will start reading at night and say, I will just read a chapter or two and go to bed, but before you know, it is 6 in the morning and you are still scrolling down. It is an endless scrolling where you know you have to stop, but you just can't. Oh no, have I replaced my distress for TikTok in manhwa? Oh no! Solo Leveling feels like the sword that everyone has been waiting for. The perfected version of SAO is Solo Leveling, is what I would very much like to say, in the perfect world. Solo Leveling has some glaring problems, and I'm going to name some of them. The biggest by far is the build-up they give to some of the characters who are about to face Jinwoo. It is like the build-up of the century, like God is about to be reborn or the sea is about to split in two. But when they face Jinwoo, it is like, we were building up for this? Come on, bruh. There is this amazing build-up of Thomas, one of the goated hunters from America, who was introduced at chapter 83 and was built up till chapter 146, where they eventually face off. And much to say, it was not equivalent exchange. Don't get me wrong, it was not bad by any means, but it was underwhelming. And this very thing leads to the biggest problem of all, which is the Piccolo effect. The characters who were previously introduced and shown to be amazing, but as the story goes on, they get L+ ratioed by other characters and become irrelevant, while still being there. But even though it has some problems, it doesn't change the fact that Solo Leveling is an entertaining read through and through, which fuels my monkey brain. And as I was making this video, it was announced Solo Leveling is getting an anime adaptation. You cannot make this shit up. The music is done by Hiroyuki Sawano, and I can already envision Sawano drop at one of the scenes. The production is done by A1 Pictures, and they have been on a roll recently with 86 and new SAO movies. So if this is adapted the way it should be, it is going to be huge for both manhwa and anime industry, because right now manhwa is still very niche with few hidden gems perfect for anime adaptation, which I feel Solo Leveling will give them a chance to shine. And I would also like to know some of the manhwas I should read, so let me know in the comments below. And speaking of A1 Pictures, who are doing the adaptation of Solo Leveling, they also did Kaguya-sama, which is fucking amazing, and I also made a video on it, which is good, and I plan on seeing you there.